Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. We are here to overreact to what we saw in week 2 and look ahead to week 3 to find out which teams we are betting on. We are live, and this Fanspeak Substack Degen subscription is also live right now. That's right. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen. The Degen subscription is live, $34.99 for an entire year. Gives you access to the NFL in-season content, bets, DFS, Battle Royale, and more. Link in show bio. Jamie, boy, as a Packers fan, you have to be happy after what we saw in week 2. And as a Raiders fan, I feel like I have a right to be kind of disappointed. Guys, we're going to switch up the format this week because we did go a little long last week. So what we're going to do this week, we're going to start off with our overreactions. I have 2. I don't know how many you have, Jamie, but we got a couple from you. Tyler will be on real soon. We'll go through his. This is when we'll argue. This is when we'll debate. And Tyler will never admit when he's wrong. I'm looking forward to that. And then we're going to look ahead, and instead of going through every single game, we're going to give you the 3 that we each feel strongest about. But don't worry, if there's a game you want to know our opinion about and we haven't talked about it, we're going to do a Q&A kind of at the end. So that's when I'll head to the chat. So, Jamie, how are we doing today? What did you think of NFL Week 2 overall? And then we'll move right into our overreactions.
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. It was nice to get some points, right? It's like the week 1's kind of the extension of preseason. It's like week 4 of the preseason. So it was good to get some points. There's some fun games. I'm sure we'll talk about that Dallas Giants game at some point, but that was an awesome game to watch. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to chop it up with you. See some of your overreactions or some of your hot takes, or see what you got.
All right. Yeah, I was going to stall and wait for Tyler here, but in interest of time, I'm going to dive right in. My first hot take, and this is going to be something I said all summer, but I think that what I've said was correct. Just because you can call plays doesn't mean that you're going to be a good head coach. And I said, hey, Ben Johnson's a great play caller, right? But without the guys to execute it, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I thought that was evident in Chicago because the young man who took over for Ben Johnson is essentially running the scheme that he installed. They were still able to put up 52 points. So that offense looks okay. Yeah. On the other hand, you have this Bears organization, and this will get into some of my Raiders criticism as well. These guys are playing fantasy football, and fantasy football is great, and we love fantasy football, and we're going to talk a bunch of fantasy during this show. But the reality is the NFL's won in the trenches. They didn't even really need Rome Odunze last year. Then you spend your top 2 picks on Colston Loveland, who's a great player. I'm not trying to downgrade Colston Loveland. Tyler, I'm already in on my hot takes, and I'm starting off with just because you're a great play caller doesn't mean you're a great head coach. But also, if you're a bad organization, you're a bad organization. And then you didn't need Luther Burden either. You needed help at other areas on that team. I mean, if you're going to get a skill position player, once you get a running back who can play after first down, DeAndre Swift can't play through the tackles. And then, okay, we already know that I'm right about Miami, right? McDaniel has no discipline at all. So I was proved right there. And I think that Liam Cohen's proven me right too. And he's a great play caller. And maybe he'll turn things around in Jacksonville. But what really stood out to me is these videos going around of Brian Thomas Jr. giving no effort at all. And I know you guys don't like Tomlin and Vrabel and Carroll because they're boring and they call these boring plays. But do you think that Brian Thomas Jr. would be giving that accountability, that level of effort with Mike Vrabel as his head coach? There's absolutely no way. I mean,
I gotta catch you. Let me jump in real quick.
That's what we're here for. Go jump right ahead.
Just because you listed Mike Tomlin amongst that group, but you knew not to use him in that example because we seen AB under Mike Tomlin. We seen George Pickens under Mike Tomlin.
But we never seen AB just dog it out there. I mean, that was NBA level effort. He looked like an NBA player to me.
He was so
afraid of getting hit.
Do we not recall the week 18 or 17 game that AB showed up and just said, yeah, I'm not playing because you guys pissed me off?
Yeah, and then he get traded the next year.
Yeah, but then we could look
Yeah,
at what
so
Pickens
there
did
was
for 2 years.
accountability at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, okay. All right. That's my overreaction. Tyler's already jumped in. Jamie, what do you think? Am I being too hard on Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson? I mean, the Jaguars are 1-1. That's actually better than their usual record. So maybe I am, right? But what do you think here?
Yeah, I would say we got to give Liam Cohen a little bit of grace, right? I mean, we're 2 games in. Like, you got to give the guy a full season. Like, who knows? What if Brian Thomas Jr. bounces back this week and, has 10 catches for 160 yards and like 2 touchdowns? Liam Cohen did say he was going to talk to, BTJ about his effort and having to give a better effort. He did say he was a little banged up too, which is not an excuse. I still think you got to give Liam Cohen a little bit of grace, man. So we're 2 games.
I am too. We're here to overreact, but that was just what stood out to me. The lack of effort there from your star player was disgraceful. Tyler, I know. Let's leave Tomlin out. We'll talk about Johnson and Cohen. What do you think, man? What do you think?
I mean, Ben Johnson, I think he's still a good play caller. I just don't know if it's all there. And the matchup, we all knew Detroit was just going to do. That was basically their Super Bowl. Dan Campbell was going to pound his old OC. So kind of expected Detroit. But I know I took Chicago because I thought maybe Ben Johnson had some up his sleeve. He really didn't have much up his sleeve, though. And we'll see how they look. To a certain extent,
I don't blame this on Johnson. I'm just saying getting this great play caller is not going to fix everything.
No,
especially when you have such a terrible, terrible front office.
Yeah, we can kind of agree that he wasn't going to fix it in one off season. They made a lot of adjustments and a lot of pickups that we thought were good. We'll see how they look in a couple weeks, but as of right now, I would say they're entrenched 3 in that division.
And one thing that you got to give him credit for, right? The 2 scripts have opened with touchdowns. That's why I say he's a great play caller and he's doing a good job.
I mean, but here's the thing is because Jamie's a Green Bay fan, when LaFleur first took over, remember his first year where a lot of those first drives ended in touchdowns, but then they took a while to get the offense going again? It's like these young coaches, it takes a few years for them to get that full game plan going. LaFleur is one of the most complete coaches in the NFL now. But if we look back at his first year, we could say the same thing.
All right, Tyler, this next overreaction, and then I'll let you guys overreact. This next overreaction is for you. Once again, I was absolutely right that the Minnesota Vikings messed up by not bringing Sam Darnold back. J.J. McCarthy looked absolutely terrible. You can't tell me they wouldn't have won that game if Sam Darnold wasn't at quarterback. And now you went to this guy and you go, oh, he played in a pro offense. He's going to be great. And you guys have talked about Kevin O'Connell made everybody look good. And now there's a guy that he isn't quarterback proof. I said Justin Jefferson is quarterback proof.
I don't know what's going on there, but I lost my train of thought on what I was going to say. But shit.
Jamie, jump in.
I need a second.
They should have kept Darnold.
That's what it was. That's what it was. That's why I just threw it out in my head. It was Darnold. Here's the question though, Spread. Would you rather have taken the chance on the unknown on a rookie contract, or pay the guy can't win the big one $100 million to win you 12 regular season games a year?
Maybe he continues to improve. I mean, at least you're at 14 wins. Can you imagine being a Minnesota fan? That place was so loud. They were shushing them on the opening drive. And then by the end, everyone just
agree. I think all 3 of us can agree. Last year for the Vikings with Sam Darnold, if you were been what is their best possible case scenario for the entire season? That was it. That's the best you were going to get.
Him playing good in the playoffs. I mean, him playing the way that he played for the first 15 weeks when it mattered.
It's never going to happen in the playoffs. I'll let you know.
So you'd rather just be 3-14 and be an absolute laughingstock disgrace and have your defense out there playing their asses off and they go 3 and out every single time. That's the better scenario. Why? So they can draft another quarterback to replace J.J. McCarthy? No,
you're about to get the resurrection of Carson Wentz under KOC.
Yeah.
Bro, he's so bad they had to fake an injury. They said McCarthy's hurt. They showed the last 2 plays. He didn't look hurt at all. I mean, they had to fake an injury. That's how big of a mistake it was. Any more thoughts on that one, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Sam Darnold would be dead by now with that offensive line if he was starting back there.
Is big.
Okay, no. To be fair, McCarthy had the worst time in the pocket. I mean, he's just slow. My buddy watching the game say he's just slow. Even on the ones that he was completing, they're always coming out slow. he just doesn't get rid of the ball quick enough. He's just not ready for it yet. They should have developed him under a veteran.
Yeah, I mean, technically they did for a year, right? But there's no really defending JJ McCarthy. He's played 8 quarters and he's been pretty brutal for 7 of the 8. He can't throw the ball to the left side of the field, right? Which is what kind of the scouting report was when he came out of college, and it's kind of looking like that again. There's no real excuses I think any of us can make for him. I don't think that Sam Darnold in there doesn't make them a Super Bowl contender. I think they maxed that out last year. And like I said, I think the offensive line is really, really bad.
But they would at least be respectable, right? And I guess just as a Raiders fan, I'm sensitive to this. There's nothing worse than just by week 3, you don't even care anymore.
No, I
by
get
week
you.
Week 3, you're watching college, looking at the draft prospects. Oh, Drew Aller's pretty good. Who's this kid Sellers, right? I mean, it's no fun.
Yeah.
I would much rather be 14-3 and do the Tyler and losing the wild card every single year than just be an absolute joke.
Yeah, I mean, they already made their bed, though, right? Like when you invest a top 10 pick in a quarterback, at some point you're just going to have to, okay, do we pay Sam Darnold, or do we just
49ers were able to move on pretty quick after they invested, and they invested even more
in Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hurt, though, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he got hurt, and then Brock Purdy came in and looked really good.
It was literally
because Jimmy G came in the first year he was hurt.
Or Jimmy G came in for the first year. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But then Jimmy G went down and Purdy came in, and it's been history ever since.
Yeah. So
that was a year after. That was a year after, and even in that training camp, they said, Trey Lance, you're not starting. You're not good enough.
Spread. Listen, if JJ doesn't tear his meniscus, and he gets to do this last year, Sam Darnold's still in Minnesota this year. But the fact that there was that unknown there and they invested that high capital, they had to let him walk.
I don't think they did. That's sunk cost fallacy. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you have to double down and make your team a joke.
But they didn't know, right? I think the reality is we no one knew what JJ McCarthy was going to do. I'm sure they had faith.
If you can go back in time and tell them after 2 games he's going to look like this, they're going to re-sign Darnold.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that.
Yep.
Fortunately, someone on this show told him to do that. So that was my final overreaction. Jamie, what do you got for us? What's your number 1 overreaction from week 2?
I mean, I'll stay in the NFC North. I just thought it was a fun week where, after week 1, there's a lot of unknowns. We think we kind of know some things, but we really saw like the separation, I think, in the NFC North. Because after week 1, we were kind of asking, is Detroit dead, right? Like, did losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and Frank Ragnow, that just destroyed them? And they still look pretty good. And I think it's very clear that the Bears and the Vikings are on the bottom tier of probably just the NFL in general. And I still think Detroit's probably a top 10 team in the NFL, top 5, 6 now probably in the NFC, I would say. And then again, I said it last week that I think we're going to look back and see that Washington Packers game, which probably should be about a touchdown difference. I think this Packers team is really, really good. Their defense is just insane. I think they've allowed the lowest explosive play rate, or their 5th lowest explosive play rate since 2020. So it's last 25, 26 years. Their defense is just insane. So I don't know. I'd say that my most popular take would be that that NFC North, I don't think it is as bad as people think as far as the top. I still think Detroit's a good team. And I was a little unsure about that after week 1. When you go in the NFL and you go beat the Bears by 30, I think that showcases how and they also too, Morton in week 1, he didn't run any motion at all, wasn't doing much play action, and that looked much more improved against the Bears. So maybe it's going to take some more time for Detroit, but I wouldn't write Detroit off completely. I still think they're probably a 10 to 11 win team, and we're probably going to learn a little bit more about them this week when they go into Baltimore. But
did anyone have Detroit Baltimore on their card for giving out a play today? I don't.
I don't either, but I'm sure we can touch on that.
We'll talk about it at the end of the game, even if we don't have a best bet on it. I can't even argue with you there. That seems to be a proper reaction, not an overreaction. It seems to be a 2-team race now, unless Carson Wentz pulls a Geno Smith or a Sam Darnold and becomes a good quarterback all of a sudden. Tyler, any thoughts on the NFC North becoming a 2-team race?
No, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, Chicago looks pretty much like they're entrenched at 3, like I just said a few minutes ago. and the Vikings look dead in the water already. So, and
how can
honest,
Chicago be entrenched in 3 when the Vikings beat them?
If let's be honest, if they run that game back,
and they just got an upgraded quarterback this week.
If they run that game back 10 times, I think Chicago wins it 9 times.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Minnesota will beat them when they play Minnesota.
I think they took their foot off the gas and went into prevent and looked ahead to the Detroit game, and it bit them there. And then Detroit just walked all over them because they were just in shambles after losing
for a
week
franchise
1.
who averages 4 wins a year.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I don't even think it's a 2-team race.
It's not a 2-team race. It's a 1-team race. There's definitely like the tier, right? Like Green Bay won, Detroit's a top 10 team in the league, and then the bottom 2 are just like not even.
Yeah, the bottom 2. If Chicago somehow comes to life and gets a wild card spot, awesome. That'd be the best case scenario for them. They're entrenched for 3.
Yeah, you're right. That's the best case
12.
scenario. It doesn't seem very plausible to me, though.
Well, it's week 2, so we still got a lot of football games to play.
What happens if Chicago goes 0-3 this week? Bro, you know what my new guilty pleasure is? Listening to Chicago Talk Radio on YouTube.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Next overreaction, Jamie.
So for me, I don't know if you were going to bring this up, but it was about your Raiders. I thought that was some of the worst game management I think that I've ever seen. And like, I know that might just be a little bit of recency bias, but that was terrible.
I mean, they have a senior citizen for a head coach.
Bro, that is like, that is downright bad. If I'm a Raiders fan, I would be so disgusted. First off, you're down 2 scores and you utilize a timeout in the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the third quarter, which is already terrible, right? Like
use an 11-minute drive to get 3 points.
Yes, and you made a 2-touchdown game after you wasted 11 minutes and have a 20-play drive. That was just like I honestly couldn't, and they still had multiple chances, right? Like at the end, they kept still like getting fumbles and getting the ball back. Geno Smith, I feel like that's one of the worst games he's played in the last couple of years. Like that was terrible. I think 0 for 10 on passes, like 10+ yards down the field. You can't win that way. You draft a running back in the top 10, and he's not even on the field in 2-minute drives. Like you're using Zamir White on like third downs and Dylan Lobb or whatever his name is in these 2-minute drills. Like what is going on? So spread, I'm most interested because I know last week, you were a little bit more optimistic about your Raiders. So I'm interested to get your thoughts on that whole situation.
Still optimistic, but you hit it right on the head. I have a buddy who texted me. He said, "Look, like Antonio Pierce is still our coach, right?" Yeah. I mean, this was one of the reasons we were optimistic because we thought, we got some adults in the building, and we're not going to get this style thing either. And the disconnect, and I mean, Carroll and Spytek are supposed to go hand in hand. Why would you draft Genty if you're not going to play him every single time? Yep. And you can't figure out that he can't pass block in your pre-draft evaluation. Like this is news to you. So now all of a sudden we have to bench him. And I was telling my buddy, I go, only bad franchises draft running backs in the top 10, right? Who are the last 4 to go? I'm going off the top of my head. Saquon. Oh, the New York Giants run terribly. Trent Richardson, Cleveland Browns. Was Zeke? I'm going my last 4.
He had to be in the last 4 because not many guys go in the top 5 spread.
I think
Bijan Robinson.
I said top 10 and Bijan Robinson. And hey, the Falcons might be pretty good, but overall they're a bad organization, right? And it just reminds me of the Bears all over again. You're getting all these furnishings for your house. You're getting rims, and you don't even have a car yet. Pretty disappointed in the Raiders overall, but the Chargers might end up being, one of the best teams in the NFL. And it's just like, for example, if we lost that way to Philadelphia, would I be too upset? No. So if the Chargers end up being that, then that's fine.
Yeah, Chargers are good.
I think they have an excellent bounce back opportunity this week, but I think that's due to a little injury luck. Tyler, what'd you think of the Raiders' performance last night?
It was absolutely terrible. Just burn it all down, fire everyone. I don't know what Brady's doing owning a piece of this team. Like, it's just terrible. Typical Raiders.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how bad. I mean, for how bad we were, I don't know what I expected, for us, improvement would be like 8 and 9.
Yeah. And just to touch on your running back thing again, I just typed it into the Google AI thing. No. The last 6 running backs to go in the top 10 Everyone we said Bijan, Saquon, Zeke. The other ones we missed, Todd Gurley to the Rams.
Okay.
And McCaffrey to the Panthers. And Fournette to the Jags.
See what I mean?
Bad.
These are just
all
bad franchises. Yeah.
They're all bad.
I mean, the Rams ended up getting good, but when they drafted Gurley, I don't think we considered them to be a good franchise. I think that was
that's when Jeff Fisher was still there.
Jeff Fisher was there.
Yeah. I say Sean McVay would never. There's no chance he would allow that.
All right, Tyler or Jamie, any more overreactions from you before we hear from Mr. Steelers, the Yinzers down there?
Nope, that's it for me.
Tyler, what overreactions do you have from week 2?
I mean, we won't go with the Steelers just because we're not going to beat the dead horse of how Tomlin's just a bad coach. Can't draft, messes up the obvious and stuff, and just can't win easy games. So Tomlin's Tomlin. It is what it is. Got to deal with it because they won't fire him. Let's go out to the AFC West, though. Let's talk about the big bad Chiefs and how they're not going to the playoffs this year because they are a bottom 15 offensive unit. Show where are they getting points from at any point in this year?
Who's had a tougher start in the history of the NFL?
They have no run game outside of Mahomes' legs. That's not going to last all year because he'll eventually get hurt if he keeps running the way he is. He has to stay in the pocket. Kelsey's old and slow. Their wide receiver room is beat up. And even when Rice and Worthy get back, it's still only 2 guys. This team ain't going anywhere. The Chargers...
They're pretty consequential guys.
2 consequential guys, but just because they're getting 2 wide receivers back, they're not going to instantly become a Super Bowl contender again.
But you said they're not going to make the playoffs. There's a difference between being a Super Bowl contender.
To complement this offense. And yeah, I don't think they're going to the playoffs because I think Denver's going to pass them up in the division, and I think they're going to finish 3rd. And the Chargers are going to win this division. Because Herbert, second overreaction, just to tie it in here, get a piece of that 850 because he's winning the MVP.
Top 5 quarterback right here. Never forget.
Bro,
he's gonna make us eat a lot of words, bro. He looks like an absolute stud.
You know who's gonna screw you on that bet is Jamie's guy,
Jordan Love, baby.
I don't know.
He might win it too. And then again, how do you get past Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson?
Here's the thing: when Green Bay gets into mid-December and they're just leaning on that defense to stifle offenses, and Josh Jacobs a bitch to tackle when it's 5 degrees outside, he's not gonna be throwing for that many yards.
Okay, first of all, he's not getting more rushing yards than either Allen or Jackson. He's not going to get more passing yards.
But here's the thing: is Herbert get more passing yards?
I mean, Jackson's been balling.
But he also has multiple MVPs already. Josh Allen won his last year, and he was gifted it.
Yeah,
who's the next guy up that they want to give it to? The other guy's out for the rest of the year with turf toe.
Well, and that's the thing too. I don't think Tyler would say go take Justin Herbert at even money
at 1
right?
Like, plus 8.
Obviously, Lamar and Josh Allen are the favorites to win it. But I agree. I love that. Last week I said the same thing. I was like, if this Charger team wins 12 to 13 games, because we know the MVP is so correlated to wins. If they win 12 to 13 games, he's absolutely going to get votes. Jordan Love's going to get votes. I don't know. I haven't checked. I just know after Thursday I checked, and Love was number 3, at least on DraftKings, just behind Allen and Lamar.
Love and Herbert are tied at 850.
Him and Herbert are?
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. Although I think Green Bay's got a chance to have a better record. The Chargers have a harder schedule.
I think so too, but I wouldn't be seeing the Chargers.
But I don't hate that bet at all. Right? It's like I said, you're getting plus 850 on a team that we still think is going to be very good. And I mean, go look at Justin Herbert's numbers last year in the regular season. How many interceptions did he throw? Less than 5, right? Like, I'm pretty confident it was like 3 or 4 or 5 or something. He doesn't turn the ball over much. He's running a lot more. Their pass rate over expectations much higher than I think we all thought. They clearly don't trust Omarion Hampton much. Najee Harris is not very good. And they have much better weapons than they did last year.
So I
want to go back to your
last year
expectation point.
3 interceptions.
Yeah,
3 interceptions last year. I want to go back to your pass rate over expectation point. We got to give Harbaugh credit. What did we all say all summer while we're drafting before Najee blew his face up in Hampton? Yep. Harbaugh just runs the ball. He runs the ball. He runs the ball. This is a case of a coach looking at his team and going, you know what? We're not really built for that.
Yep.
We're not really built. We're not really built to be Blake Corum and JJ McCarthy at Michigan, right? We got to really switch the style. And a lot of coaches wouldn't do it. And probably the guy that I love that Tyler hates, wouldn't do it.
Talking about the guy that hasn't switched his style in like 14 years.
That's my point. I think that we got to give Harbaugh credit for adjusting and getting away from the way that he's always coached football to adapt to the way that the rules have changed and his personnel.
Doesn't he
what else
always,
you got first, Tyler?
I mean, we have a kind of a small sample size on this, but I'm almost positive his second year as 49ers coach was when they really started to take off. It's almost like it gets that first year where he starts to establish like the Harbaugh mentality in the team. Second year, they oversee expectations by a mile.
Yeah, I think they were already happy because they went from 4-12 to like a wild card, and then I think they were NFC Championship his second year.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to follow that same path.
Yeah, and they might. And this
there's one deal. If there's one team in the AFC that can knock off one of Buffalo or Baltimore, unless they have to play each other, it ain't the Chiefs anymore, right? As the moment, it's the Chargers.
I would just be careful riding off that Chiefs team because they played the toughest schedule. They had to travel to Brazil and then they go home to play the Super Bowl champs. And Meg and I are going to disagree on this one, but I think we see a get right game from them this week. I just think
that's one of my games. That'll be a fun one. Is that one of your games too?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I just that's just my opinion on the Sunday night game. All right, Tyler, what else you got for us?
My next hot take, I mean, it's kind of like a best ball reference, but I'm writing it down on a chalkboard like Bart Simpson 1,000 times. I will never draft a rookie running back that was drafted in the first round unless his offensive line is fully established. Genty, useless. Hampton, useless.
But all these play when you draft a rookie, you're already punting on the first 2 or 3 weeks. You're doing it for the stretch run.
That's not necessary.
Go look at Saquon's first 2 weeks. Go look at Bijan's first 2 weeks. You want me to look them up? I saw it on Twitter today.
Did you hear the end of my sentence? If their offensive line isn't established, the last rookie to step in behind an established O-line, because the team was probably right in drafting the running back in the spot they were at because he stepped on the field and put together one of the best seasons ever, was Zeke. That was one of the best offensive lines a rookie running back could have stepped behind with a full tank of gas.
But Bijan ended up with a great rookie year after a slow first 2 games.
He did.
Saquon's was fine too for where he was drafted at.
I just don't see it with these guys.
I think that's an overreaction. I think those guys will be fine by week 8, week 10.
Najee's taking over that backfield. They even said it, and you even seen it at the end of the game. Hampton was one of those costly fumbles. He didn't take a snap after that. Mm-hmm. And Genty can't pass block, and we're playing a guy I think that was undrafted, so they look like they're pretty much overhyped, useless pieces of offense right now.
Well, I think
who's worse at pass blocking, Caleb Johnson or Ashton Genty?
Caleb Johnson should host a meet and greet.
Well, and I agree with Tyler too, because it's like it's not just if these guys end up having a decent season; it's where you drafted them. Like you're drafting Genty over like Jonathan Taylor. Like that's something, right? That looks pretty rough now. I would think Ashton Genty, like if I was ranking him, I mean he's probably like 13th, 15th overall running back, probably, in my opinion, rest of the way. But out of some of the rookies, I think Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey, they still have probably the cleanest paths, especially if you were getting, Trevion Henderson back when he was like in the 6th round. If you spent like the 3rd round late in the season, you're probably drawing dead there. But I think Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey are still the 2 guys I think could pop off. But I mean, also too, like Bashal Tootin. I know obviously he's not in that same territory, but getting that guy way late, I think he could be a league winner late too. So, but I do agree. Like if you took Genty, at the end of round 1, early round 2, it's going to be tough.
I want to pull up some Genty stats real quick. I got to find this. Give me another one because I got to find this one, Tyler. Oh, I found it already. You ready? You ready for Genty? Yeah. And this kind of supports your point. Ashton Genty has 81 rushing yards this season. He has 84 rushing yards after contact. Ashton Genty has 3 receiving yards on the season, but 26 receiving yards after the catch. He's not been given a great opportunity. So I think that does prove your point. But for those of everyone downgrading Genty at least as a rusher, I just don't buy it. He's forced to be Barry Sanders out there with the blocking that he's getting. Anything more? We're going to go to our best bets.
I mean, I think we could jump into our best bets. The only other thing I'd say is how real are the Colts?
Bullshit. They're bullshit. They didn't even win that game.
You're calling them bullshit, and they put up that many points against one of the best.
They're 1-1. That was one of the biggest ripoffs I've ever seen. That was not a
1-1?
penalty. That was not a penalty. And they were stupid.
They're 2-0, buddy. And they're leading that division.
I heard him calling Danny Diamonds on the Rich Eisen show today.
They're leading that division.
That team is 1-1. I don't know what Sean Payton did, but that was not a penalty. They were stupid for trying to kick a 60-yard field goal in the first place, and they got completely bailed out. I still think the Texans are better than the Colts. I mean, no.
I don't. The Texans look absolutely
The Texans are terrible. CJ Stroud sucks, and that offensive line.
Yeah, he does.
CJ Stroud.
The defense is weak.
CJ Stroud let me come all the way back on my giant circle of Ohio State quarterbacks suck in the NFL.
No, I called him CJ Carr in our chat, Tyler, because I said that he is going to have a good rookie year and get the fan base's hopes up, and then just be completely average for the rest of his career. I mean, and still go off for good games, 300, 3 touchdowns.
But they had Slowick calling plays. They had a solid O-line. They had Mixon as a run game, and they had multiple weapons at wide receiver.
But Mixon's coming back. That's got to help. And Jaden Higgins is only going to get better.
Their offensive line is gone. Their offensive line is dead.
Offensive line is
so bad.
Great. They addressed it too. They got rid of their guards and they brought in new guys, and they suck just as bad. They tried to save money getting rid of Tunsil and these guys and bringing in new guys, and it didn't work. Yeah.
So
I'm still not a believer in the Colts, dude. I thought that was BS.
I think Shane Steichen can make Daniel Jones look competent, and with Jonathan Taylor behind him, it's on. They're winning the division.
Yeah.
I mean, and they might, but that's more of a referendum on the division than the Colts. Even if they do, they're going to pull Steelers and get smoked in the first round, Tyler.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but
probably.
Let's just say they catch a nice matchup in the first round against a run funnel defense. Cough, cough. Buffalo and Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, hell no. Buffalo's going to – they'll be laying 13.5 and they'll cover by 24 points. No.
There's certain matchups that I might take a piece of the Colts in the end. Like Jonathan Taylor, big game.
I can't wait till next week when who do they play this week? Does anyone have the Colts
they play
on
this week? They get Tennessee.
Sheet? The Colts play Tennessee.
Oh, I can't bet Tennessee again. Between Tennessee and Houston, I've lost so much money this year. But if we were picking them in a pick 'em full, I would do the plus 3.5. All right, Tyler, any more reactions or you want to go to best bets?
No, I mean, I think we could just, the last thing is we could both agree that they should just not even, I mean, these South divisions, AFC South and NFC South, are absolutely horrific.
I mean, Buccaneers look pretty good.
Yeah, but his team doesn't look good. Atlanta doesn't look good. Atlanta
looks awesome. They finally have a defense.
I mean, they don't. We'll see how they look.
Do they have a defense, or they play against JJ McCarthy?
Yeah, are they really good? Yeah, or is it JJ?
They managed to hold them down for all 4 quarters. Something that
yeah, but they kind of gave up 30 ball to Tampa the week before that.
They only gave up 23. It was 23-20 in that game. Which is pretty good considering Tampa's offense.
Yeah, but still, it's the NFC South and the AFC South. They don't look not a single.
I don't think the AFC South. I don't think they're even close. The NFC South is 10 times better than the AFC South.
Nah, I don't know about that.
I wish they were playing each other this year. They're way better.
What are we laying on a Colts Falcons matchup?
Falcons minus. Well, where's it at? On a neutral, Falcons -2.
Just put it in a random dome.
Falcons -2.
I'm on the Colts. I get the better coach too.
Fair enough. All right, Jamie, let's start with you. What's your best bet? First best bet of the week.
I like the Rams plus 3.5. I also like Rams money line. I said at the beginning of the season that I'm a little bit.
I'm sorry. I just have to bring this up because I pulled up their schedule.
Yeah.
November 9th. 9:30 a.m. So we're neutral. We're across the sea.
No
Colts
way.
versus Falcons.
No
What's
way.
the line? Is there a look ahead?
I'm gonna look and see if I can find one.
It's gonna be Falcons -2. Actually, it probably won't because everyone thinks the Colts are awesome. It'll probably be Falcons. It'll probably be Colts -2, but I'd make it Falcons -2. I want to.
Sorry for interrupting, Jamie. Go ahead with your pick.
No,
that's good. Pretty funny.
That's gonna be a fun episode. We gotta get a side bet on that.
All right.
I'm a Rams plus 3.5. I also like the Rams money line. I talked about the beginning of the season. I'm a little lower on this Eagles team this year. I think they're due for some little bit of regression. I don't think their defensive line's as good. I think losing Kellen Moore is a big hit to that offense. I don't think the offense looks very good. I think they're only averaging like 4.3 yards per play, which is about almost 1.5 yards less than they did last year. I just think it's a really good spot for the Rams, who I think is probably just as good as the Eagles. I also think that this is the time of the year where if we have strong convictions on teams or players, this is ideally where you should be going in on them, because we are still only 2 weeks into the season. We still do not know very much. And so my big conviction is I think the Rams are arguably the second best team in the NFC this year. Remember last year, week 3, I'm pretty sure the Eagles were underdogs to the Saints, which in hindsight is kind of laughable.
I remember
right?
that.
Yeah, it's like when you think about it now, it's
no. I think they were only -3 or something.
I think it was plus
by
3.
like 30.
I think it was plus 3. I think so. I would have to go back and look, but because I remember betting on the Eagles because it's high on the Eagles. But I feel like I think I took the Eagles just straight money line, to be honest. Because the Saints looked really good the first 2 weeks. Remember?
No, they had put up the most points. They had put up like 80 or 90 points or something in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was the most.
And
points
the Eagles
in the first
look
2 weeks
okay, right? Yeah, and but so that's my kind of conviction is I think that the Rams are just much better than people probably think and the market thinks. And I think if this game played out in week 10 or week 11, I think it would be closer to a pick 'em here, or maybe just Rams plus 1.5. So I like the 3.5. I also like the money line. I think this Rams team is really, really good. I think the Eagles got worse from last year, and I think the Rams got better from last year. So give me the Rams plus 3.5.
I agree with you, and I'll just throw, rather than repeat everything you said, I just want to throw one thing in there. My prediction, and I think this is going to discombobulate the team, I think they're going to call offsides this week. There's just too much attention on that play. When the video comes out and all 5 players are offsides.
Yeah.
And there's already controversy. They were already thinking about banning it in the first place. And it's just like, now it's like, well, if you just call it correctly, I think that could throw them off too, right? Because now instead of 3rd and 1 being automatic, it's going to be 3rd and 6. And Hurts 100%. Hasn't been great underneath this year. I don't know what's going on with AJ Brown. Hopefully they'll get that back. But we've known that they've been like those two people that don't really like each other that work well together. And Smith has not lived up to expectations. Of course, Barkley's still awesome. But I completely agree with you there. Tyler, your thoughts on the Rams Eagles?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. I kind of lean towards Philly here. I just think, even though Hurts hasn't been able to move the ball through the air, I think eventually that passing game is going to click. He'll get the ball to these guys. They kind of just go through the motions. Why throw the ball if you don't have to? You know what I mean?
Right.
If they can revert to playing 1950s football and win games in 2025, why not do it?
Yeah.
It's a lot less likely you're turning over the ball when it's just in the hands of Saquon and Hurts. So.
Yeah. Yep. And that'll be interesting. But James, I agree with you. I mean, the Rams gave them the closest look in the playoffs last year, so I think they match up well. And the other thing, I actually wrote this one up, Jamie, before we started. The other thing, if anyone is able to mitigate that, I don't even know if I'm using that word right. Help me out, Mike Rob. You got a good vocabulary. If anyone's able to mitigate that pass rush, it's Stafford and McVay, and they're just going to get the ball out within 3 seconds.
My worry about that,
Adams are great at running those short routes and getting some yak.
Just my worry about that, because even though he was able to get it out early last week against Tennessee doesn't have half the pass rush Philly's going to come in with.
They're pretty damn good.
Neither of those
I just think their team sucks. We don't recognize that defense.
Neither of those starting guards for the Rams are coming back this week.
That's a good point. I'll give you
also
that.
Too.
But also, the other thing McVay's going to do to mitigate that pass rush is just lean on Kyron. I mean, he loves to run the ball to begin with.
Also, too, I do want to comment for Mike Robb. I did not say that the Rams are better than the Packers. I definitely do not think that. I said they are better than the Eagles, the second best team in the NFC, not better than the Packers. I do appreciate the shout out to the mustache, though. It took me a while to grow this bad boy.
Mike Robb's been waiting for us to put his comment on the screen. What's your next best bet, Jamie? Or actually, we'll go in order. We'll do everyone. Tyler, what's your first best bet?
I'm gonna go with a one. I don't think anyone would be taking here. Give me the over 42.5 in Cincy, Minnesota. Okay. 2 backup quarterbacks, weapons galore across the field. You got JJ, you got Hawkinson, Jordan Mason's going to get all the carries because Jones is now on IR. And on the other side, you still have Chase Brown, you still got Higgins, you still got Chase. There are a ton of weapons. The other thing about this game is both these defenses have been out on the field a ton. We know Wentz can turn over the ball a lot. He likes to take chances. Jake Browning was throwing to the wrong jersey half the game last week. These defenses might even score, so I don't hate sprinkling their touchdowns. But I think you're going to get extra points from the defense or the special teams, and they're still going to be able to put up points even with these bad quarterbacks with all these weapons on the offense. So 42.5 seems like an over adjustment. I'll take the over there.
Right. I should comment on that real quick. I kind of like that. I mean, I think we're going to see Wentz play much better. I also am curious to see if we're going to see Kevin O'Connell and this Vikings offense revert back to a little higher pass rate because with JJ McCarthy, they really want to run the ball. Aaron Jones is out. Are they going to lean on Jordan Mason more? I could see them throwing that ball. And I saw a fun little stat just with Carson Wentz. So this past week, Jordan Love became the 5th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 60-plus touchdowns in less than 25 interceptions in his first 35 starts. The other 4 people, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, and Carson Wentz. So maybe Kevin O'Connell can rejuvenate some Wentz magic here. So I like that.
Not even just rejuvenate.
If Wentz does well, how bad does that make McCarthy look? The only one in history.
It makes him look so bad. But like,
it would make him look bad.
If he can make what was the one guy's name? Nick
Mullins.
Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, like. Those 2 guys were just basically allowed to just sling that football to these guys down the field.
Yeah.
Wentz might just get the full green light where he might just be airing it out to Jefferson this whole game.
You're not wrong. And I think if we do see them go out and they sling that rock, I think maybe Kevin O'Connell has been telling us what he thinks about JJ McCarthy the whole time. The fact that he's only thrown the ball 20 times and they have like the lowest pass race over expectations so far this year.
It's almost
historically
like
they haven't. Yeah, he's like, we're not letting this dude chuck it. And if Carson Wentz comes out there,
McCarthy might be fine. We knew he was a project, but right now, there's no way you can tell me that Carson Wentz isn't an upgraded quarterback for Minnesota.
I agree, especially like my brain almost sometimes works for fantasy too. So like if you got like the Justin Jeffersons, like you're pretty excited, I think, with the Carson Wentz news.
Let's stick with that game real quick though. I like the Bengals +3. I thought the Browning looked pretty good. And
I think Browning's good.
I'm just worried about this Minnesota team here falling behind. So I'm taking the points in a game with 2 teams that are struggling. Jamie, if you took a side in that game, where would you be?
I'd go Bengals too. I think the Bengals are just overall a little bit better than this Vikings team right now anyways. But I love Tyler's angle of just taking the points. But
now that you think about it, I actually like that over way better than taking a side there.
That's what I'm saying.
Over, don't take the side because you're betting against Minnesota at their lowest with a quarterback that's not going to be on the field. Yeah. You could see a completely different team. And that
defense is still legit. I mean, their red zone defense against Atlanta.
The defense is still legit, and we've seen it before. The quarterback swap when Andy Dalton came in for Bryce Young, the offense bolstered for a couple weeks. What if Minnesota does the same thing right here?
Yeah, and they might. So, yeah, you know what? All right, that's good. That's good thinking. How about this one, though? I wish I had the theme music, although we'd probably get kicked off YouTube, so I want to play it. But I would be playing SpongeBob SquarePants right now because I want to take the Buffalo Bills -12. I'm going to keep fading Miami until Mike McDaniel is fired. So Buffalo just went to New York, who I think is way tougher, way better personnel. Everything about New York is better, and they beat them 30-10, and it could have been more if they really cared about point differential like college. And now they're at home, and we already seen Tua in the cold. It's going to get cold up there. I think this Miami team is done. I know they say great things about their coach, and of course they don't want him fired. Who wants to practice, right? Because right now they have a coach that doesn't even make them practice. If they get a new coach, he might actually make them show up to the meetings on time and make them actually work for their money. But that's not happening right now. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. If they can win in New York by 20, they're going to smoke this Dolphins team. Jamie, is this an overreaction?
I don't think it's an overreaction. I generally just do not like to touch these spreads this high personally, but you're probably on the right side. Dolphins just look so
you know
bad.
What's my gangster or OG way of doing this one? Just lay the most points on the board because that's the game that these books are telling you is the biggest mismatch of the week.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just feel like they can't make these lines high enough. If your numbers, and I didn't run numbers yet this week, I need to start doing that before the show, my mistake. But if your numbers come out to 17, they're not going to go above 14. So
Yeah.
that's where you might get these lines that are wrong. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't have much to say. You're probably on the right side. I'm not going to touch it, especially it's just a Thursday night game. All these teams coming off short weeks. Buffalo just housed who they just played, the Jets.
Yeah.
I'd personally stay away, but would I be shocked if Buffalo beats Miami by 30? I really wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't, and that's exactly what's going to happen. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't hate your thought process, but my worry is you said it in your breakdown. They don't care about point differential. So what's to say they're not sitting up 17 for most of the game and you backdoor and they win by 10? It's my only worry. You got a team that doesn't care.
That's
what
always
they
the
win
worry
by.
when you're laying that. But I just don't think even in a prevent, I don't trust Tua.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that because he was able to get points last week against the New England defense.
New England.
Yeah, but if they go into prevent,
they had
they're not
field
going to
advantage.
spread. It's just one of those spots where 11 seems like it could just bite you in the end. They should blow them out by 30. They don't care what they win by. It's either they win by 17 or 10.
I mean, they're going to have to kneel it on the 5-yard line because, I mean, this is the worst defense I've seen in a while, just from an effort standpoint.
With that being said, I would much rather. With that being said, though, I'd much rather just bet Khalil Shakir over 40.5 receiving yards than lay 11 points.
What about the Cook over 63.5?
I don't hate that either, but Shakir's cleared 50 yards 2 of the last 3 matchups. And that third matchup, he went over 100 yards. Their slot corner is absolutely terrible. He went over this number week 1. Last week, of course, he didn't go over it because they were up instantly in that game and never had to throw it.
That's why I was thinking of targeting James Cook instead. I just feel like it's going to be the same.
I think they throw it a little bit more
there halfway through the second.
Even though Miami's defense is bad, their front 7 isn't the worst. It's the back end that's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see how they're going to be able to.
I like those. I like A-Chain props too. I mean,
I actually took A-Chain anytime touchdown, just with the idea that at this point he's their number 1 weapon, and I love it that I can get it receiving or I can get it receiving or rushing with A-Chain. And honestly, like as bad as I'm talking about Miami, if he doesn't step out of bounds,
they win that game for sure.
Yeah, right. But don't get me started on the Colts. All right, Jamie, what's your next best bet?
This was a gross one, but I'm going to go the Jets +7. This is mostly for me just a fade on Tampa Bay. If you look at it, Baker Mayfield leads the league in turnover-worthy throws, I should say, with 6. I think we live in a world, if there is a world out there where he has 3 or 4 interceptions up to this point. I just think that this team's due for some reverse turnover regression here. So I just think we're going to get a bad Baker game at some point. I'm not confident the Jets are as bad as we saw last week. I think the Bills are just really, really good too.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's my breakdown on that game. I think Buffalo is just really good. I don't think the Jets are that bad.
I think they're really good, and I'm just not a believer in this Tampa Bay yet. This Tampa Bay team yet. So, like I said, I like Baker as a quarterback. He just, at some point, some of these bad throws are going to turn into interceptions. I still think the Jets defense is an above average defense. I don't think that they're that top 5 defense that we saw a couple years ago, but I don't think they're like a bottom half.
But they have a lot of the same personnel. I think it's just losing Salah.
Yeah. So I like the Jets here at +7.
I agree with Jamie, so I got nothing to say. What do you think on that game, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree with him. I think Jets bounce back a little bit. I think they're able to run the ball more. Do we care who plays quarterback for the Jets?
I mean, for me, like on my power ratings, I don't have it. I have like a half a point difference as far as like
I was kind of in the same boat.
And I don't even think Fields is going to play, and I think you're almost getting some extra points for that. So
for me. And
Tyrod's a better passer, so he can get Garrett Wilson more involved. I like that play on the Jets.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just I don't have it off the top of my head, but there's some trend that you take these teams coming off these 17.
And I also seen something. Tampa Bay lost another lineman in that game. And Houston was in that backfield almost every play. So
I still can't believe they didn't get that sack. I mean, I probably have a way different attitude today. I'd be way less combative.
I mean, there's a world too where Tampa Bay's 0-2, right? Like that's
for sure.
Easily. I think the Falcons should have won them too. Won them. They should have beat them too. They had it was like +7% on
the kicker missed.
Effectiveness, and then Koo missed and ends up on the injury.
They cut him, and they went and got the new guy. Yeah. Did you guys see the clip at the end of their game, which was hilarious?
Uh-uh.
They had the 3-player interview at the end of that Atlanta Minnesota game. It was Bijan, it was Leonard Floyd, and it was the kicker. The interviewing lady goes talking to the kicker because he gets the game ball because all they do was kick field goals that game. He goes, she goes, you just got here this week, like, or do you know all your teammates? Da, da, da. He looks at Bijan. He goes, I know that's Bijan. And he turns to Leonard Floyd and he's like, I don't know who that is.
I did see that.
Hands. They were like, nice to meet you, buddy. Right there.
Yeah. That's pretty
great.
Good. That shows you how the kickers are in their own world. It was fun. I listened to, like I told you, I've been listening to Bears radio today, and they're asking Wannstedt, when you have a kicker struggling, is it good to bring someone in and try and light a fire up his butt, or is kicking so mental that it's actually detrimental? So it was interesting. Yeah. He's of course, depends on the player, but I think that is kind of an interesting philosophical debate.
And one last thing, Spread, just to kind of go off what you talked about. You said there's like a trend with that. And that's definitely something I look at a lot too. So it's just dogs after a blowout, and a blowout, right, is 20 or more points. They are the dogs are the following week 343 and 260 and 13. That's a 57% win rate. You take them, it's a 10% ROI. So the Browns also, for what it's worth, they fit under that category this week as well. Just for people who are
and
curious.
they are playing
the Packers. I will not be touching
that. Might fall in one of the 43% right there, because I don't know if I believe
hopefully so.
In Cleveland. Okay, so Tyler's taking a quick break. I will give you, boy, this is so tough, my next best bet. Oh man, I got a bunch of them I like. Jamie, how homer am I going to be if I take my Las Vegas Raiders once again?
What's the status with Jaden?
Well, this is under the assumption that he does not play.
Yeah.
And this was 6 when I was at the casino cashing the tickets, when they put the lines up right at 4:45 or 5 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. You're telling me Mariota's only a 2.5 point downgrade? In my mind, if we go off the actual most valuable player, it's Jaden Daniels. That's a 4-win team without him. I cannot believe. I mean, the only reason I think this line is sitting at 3.5, maybe they assume that Jaden might play. But if Mariota's in there, I don't get this at all. I really don't think that roster is that good. I think the Jaden Daniels is that good. Jamie, what do you think about taking the Raiders off a tough loss on the road against their former quarterback, Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I have it about like 4.2 points off from Mariota and Jaden Daniels. So
it's got to be more. Dude. I think it's like 11 points.
No, there's almost no quarterback that's going to be like an 11-point difference between their backup.
Aaron Rodgers was when they went to, I can't remember who. I saw it move like 11 once when Rodgers was out.
I think that was when
Peyton Manning was going to like Curtis Painter or something.
Yes, yeah. But this year there's no one that's that big.
I think Jaden is that big.
But you also got to think.
I mean, the franchise was terrible before he got there, and their defense isn't that good.
But you also got to think Cliff Kingsbury as an OC is very good at calling plays, and he basically gets a worse version of the quarterback he is using. He's
still but like a way worse version. Like on Madden, you're going from like a 93 to like a 69. You like that, Mike Rob?
4.5 points is still quite a bit, to be honest. But
I only see 2.5 because it went from 6 to 3.5.
Right. I'm just saying that's what I have. Off my power ratings,
okay.
It's a 4.5 point difference. I think Jane Daniels is a great quarterback, so I still think that's still a lot of respect. But also, I don't think Mariota is like, like he said, Curtis Painter. It's like you can still run a similar type of offense with Mariota. He's not as good.
Want a fun bet?
Well, yeah,
it's got to be personal. It's got to be a personal wager because we ain't gonna find a line on this. Mariota's gonna out fantasy point Geno Smith on Sunday.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
34 and 40 as a starter. 34 and 40 as a starter.
If you're gonna do that same thing, what was Sam Darnold's record as a starter before he went to Minnesota?
Dreadful.
It's what I'm saying. You can't just he was with the Titans, and then didn't he go to the Raiders or something for a bit?
He played for Atlanta, and he actually put together a couple of good games.
Yeah, it's like you can't just look at that because there's a lot of
I can.
context that is missing in that, but I don't like I said, I think Mariota is a serviceable backup for the situation, given that he has a similar type of skill set.
Darnold was 21 and 35. So basically, you got Sam Darnold starting for you, right? And I mean, come on.
But with
But
the
now-
better
the
offensive
other
coordinator that he's had and can run the similar type of offense, at least. I'm definitely not saying he's as good as Jane Daniels. 4.5 points for me is still quite a bit.
The other thing you got to ask yourself, Spread, is this lined with Jaden not playing, or is this lined with?
It has to be
playing?
in between, because I think when he's ruled out, it's got to go to -1.5. I mean,
What did this open at?
That is
6.
the biggest question.
6.
Is what did this open? Because
6.
just looking at look ahead lines, which really mean nothing here, they were -3.5. So it's sitting right where it was supposed to.
So I have 7.5, unless maybe I don't know. I have 7.5.
I'm just going off what I thought at the casino when I was catching it. So this is Caesar Sportsbook that I just saw, and it was right when it flashed, and it might not have been the true opener because, like I said, I was standing in line and I'm just looking up while I'm waiting.
So I think 7.5 was maybe before is what I seen, but I had to see 6.5 on September 14th. So
yeah, I mean, maybe that line moves, and maybe I should just bet it now. That's the
biggest
I think that's
question you
just
have
one
to
of
ask
the biggest
in betting
downgrades
this game
we've ever seen.
is you have to convince yourself whether this is the line with him out or if this is with him in, because you either wait to bet it or you bet it right now. You have to
I think
figure out
I'm
which
going
side
to
you're
bet it
on.
right now, because I think when he's officially ruled out, it goes down to 1.5.
Yeah,
worth
you
way more
either
than
burn,
2,
you either
3
burn,
points.
you either get 2.5 points, or you're gonna burn 3 points, because if he's rolled in, this is going to 6.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I just
and
kind of don't even like it either way.
the thing is,
if
Fred,
he's in,
is
I'm going to lose either way, right?
they might. Well, no, not even just that.
If
They
he
might
was
roll
playing,
in.
I would not be taking the +6. I'll tell you that much.
Well, they might roll him in, and he might not be 100%. And Max Crosby's a hell of an edge rusher that can get to him, and he can't run away.
Yeah.
So
All right.
a hobble
Jaden.
Jaden, I think, would be better for you than a fully healthy Mariota out there.
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Jaden's second best thing is his mobility. And
yeah, but he's got great arm talent, and he's got great underneath. I mean,
yeah, but his O line doesn't do all that well. Spread like Max Crosby's going to be there. He does a lot of that scrambling.
I mean, you're just telling me to take the 3.5. That's all I'm hearing when I'm hearing you talk right now, Tyler. Tell me to just take the 3.5.
I'm just telling you, you just got to figure out which side you're on there, if he's playing or he's not playing.
Give me another best bet, Tyler.
We said something about Monday night. Do we want to hold off on that one, or can I use that?
We're not on the air until then, and I want to talk about this game. I think it's a fascinating game. I think it's a great referendum on Detroit.
I think it is absolutely the easiest game to bet this week.
What are you betting?
Baltimore
Ravens -5.5.
I knew he was going to. Yeah,
it's down to 4.5 offshore.
Keep knocking it down. I'll gladly take less points. Where does Detroit reside when it comes to conference?
NFC North.
Where does Lamar dominate teams that I come out of? The NFC.
Give me what's the stat? Go ahead, remind me.
I think he's lost like one. I think no, he's lost 2 games to NFC teams. Philly got him last year. They won the Super Bowl.
I'm about to bet this right now.
Detroit plays man-to-man defense. Lamar is going to gouge this team with his feet. If they can stop,
I just kind of want to bet Detroit at home every week and just fade them on the road every week. And I think I'll go like 11-6.
Lamar is going to crush this Detroit Lions defense. Like I know they played in the last couple of years. I'm getting that game log right now for us.
All right. While you do that, Tyler, Jamie, talk to me as our resident NFC North representative.
I got it right here. Spread. They were outdoors in Baltimore, and the Ravens won that game 38-6. Yeah. Lamar went 21 for 27 for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he put up 9 for 36 and another touchdown on the ground. He's going to smash Monday night.
I love that.
Yep.
All right. Jamie, as our resident NFC North expert, what do you think about fading the Lions on Monday night?
Yeah, I love that. That was actually my fourth. So if we were doing 4 best bets, that would have been the fourth one. I like that one too.
Okay.
It
Well, give me your third because you kind of took my third, and I'm not going to scrounge. I like the Rams too. That was my other one.
Oh, okay. You want me to get my other one?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs 5.5. We kind of talked about that a little bit ago. I know Tyler might not like this. I just don't think the Giants are very good at all. I think last week was just 100% because the Cowboys have arguably a bottom 3 defense in the league. Like they're just they're the Bengals, the NFC version of the Bengals, right? Like the Cincinnati Bengals, like a really good offense that plays fast, throws the ball a ton, but their defense is just terrible. I'm not convinced whatsoever that Russell Wilson is all of a sudden a good quarterback. I think this is going to be a tough game for them. The Chiefs are familiar with Russ. I think that this Giants team is just terrible. I'm curious to see if Andrew Thomas is going to be back. If not, I still think this Chiefs team is going to get a bunch of pressure on Russ. And like I said, 5.5 to me is just too low. If this was 7.5, definitely stay away. I think most likely outcome is the Chiefs win by 7. So I do agree with Tyler, whereas I'm not nearly as high as in this Chiefs team. I definitely don't think that they're a real Super Bowl contender. But I definitely do think that there are levels here, and the Giants to me are still a bottom 5 team, and the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and
to
Andy
go
Reid.
from playing Philadelphia to playing New York is like going from all Madden to rookie. I mean,
It
you're
is,
just
and-
going to be
and-
like, oh, all my plays work all of a sudden. You know,
Yes.
everybody's open all of a sudden. And you know when I knew the Giants were going to lose? Did you see when Russ dropped that darn? I mean, it might have been the best throw of the day.
That was to Malik.
But did you see him feeling himself?
Yeah.
Doing all that stuff? I go, this is just like when you're watching a Warriors game and Draymond hits a couple threes. You're just like, they're screwed. Because now he's going to keep chucking them up, right? And he started making dumbass throws after that. It was like
the interception,
and he airs it out to Wandale. Well, that one was just incomplete. But I mean,
But that interception wasn't in overtime. That last one was just like so bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
but even
Russ
before overtime, he had a chance, and it was like 3rd and 3. Just pick up the first down, keep it moving, and he aired it out again to Wandale, and it wasn't even close. And I agree with you. I just don't think the Giants are very good, and I think the Chiefs had one of the toughest first 2 games that we've ever seen, just out of that international travel, and then having.
You're 100% right. Like there's a lot of data now coming out about these teams that traveling on these international games and coming into their second game. And you go in and play the defending champs, the Eagles. And I think now we are all much higher on the Chargers than we probably were coming into the season. Like I said, I do agree with Tyler, though, that I do not think this team is like a Super Bowl contender. I think they're probably like a 10-win team, right? So it's definitely a step down from where they have been. But still playing the Giants and only 5.5. Like I just think
the only reason I
win
say
this
they're
by
not
touchdown.
is they're missing their best 2 players, right? Imagine you take AJ and Devontae off Philly. What do they look like, right? Imagine you take Puka and Devontae. No.
We have about the same.
I'd put
combined.
9 in the box if I was having to deal with Jahan Dotson and who's the kid that got traded from the Texans.
Well, let me let you know a little secret that they have like 35 receiving yards combined.
I'm just saying, you still have to respect them.
Not much longer.
Tyler, your thoughts on the Chiefs and the Giants?
I want nothing to do with that game.
Okay.
I don't think that there's a cornerback on the Chiefs that's going to be able to stay anywhere near Malik Neighbors. If Russ is just going to start playing like Jameson, just throwing it up in the air, there's going to be games where Malik Neighbors is going to nuke like he did against Dallas. And I think that he could do the same thing again this week. And if this just turns into a shootout, do I want the team that can't score? No.
Chiefs defense is much better than Dallas, though, right? Like I think we have to admit that. Like I don't think the Chiefs defense is nearly as good.
Defense is its pass defense is ranked 32nd as of right now.
Yeah, but they
who
also
they go against?
But they went up against
Chargers
Justin Herbert,
and the Philadelphia Eagles,
who are the Super Bowl champions,
and threw for like 20 yards in that game
because they didn't need to.
Which means they got routed up so bad in Week 1 by the Chargers.
No, they did.
Yeah, but we did just talk about Justin Herbert is an MVP candidate. I think that Chargers offense, passing offense, is much better. I just think this Chiefs defense, where like I do agree that they are not great, but and also like you said, if Russell Wilson turns into Jameis Winston and throws it, you're right. There's a lot of good that can come with that. And there's also a lot of bad.
There's a lot of bad that can come with it too. But the pass rush for the Giants, I think they're going to get pressure on Mahomes. They're going to be back there. Burns, Thibodeau, Carter. Like it's just a game I'd rather not be involved in, to be honest.
No, I feel you. Like I said, I knew you were probably going to be. When I heard that Chiefs rant at the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, Tyler's not going to like this Chiefs bet here. But
no, I'm completely
I
with you,
still like
Jamie.
it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up here. So if there's any games that we didn't talk about or any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll do a quick Q&A before the end. Tyler, what's your last best bet?
My last best bet? To be honest, I didn't.
Or do I have two coming from you because I skipped you?
No, just one. I
Okay.
gave my other one out. The only other one I was looking up as of right now spread. Just give me a little teaser. Give me Patriots at 7.5. Give me Green Bay. Knock them down to 2.5. I think they smoke Cleveland, and I think the Patriots might beat the Steelers outright.
Love that.
That's gonna be crazy. What do you just think of that game, Jamie? I'm not betting it because I don't have a good handle on basically Pittsburgh this year. I mean,
I'm the same way. I'm not betting it. I would not be surprised on these. To me, these are two teams that are just very high variance, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not sold on Rodgers. We're already 2 weeks in. He's already blaming his receivers, which is just classic.
Yep.
And like, I didn't think like he played well in game one, but I don't think he played as well as many people thought. It was like a lot of short throws that ended up going the distance. And so I'm not sold there. I think that the Patriots have the quarterback edge personally. And Drake May, I like Drake May quite a bit. So I would lean with Tyler there. But as far as other than that, I'm staying away.
Another quick question for you, and then we'll go to the chat. Me and my buddy were debating. I kind of like the 49ers this week over the Cardinals, but he said the Cardinals have always given him trouble. And actually, if you're looking at DFS, statistically, Kyler's best games have come against the 49ers, which is kind of crazy since we've always considered them to be a top defense. I'm kind of all in on this Mac Jones bandwagon. I said it last week. I think that if Mac Jones got drafted by Kyle Shanahan, we might just be considering him a nice, solid player who's having a great career. What do you think, Jamie? If you were to bet that game between the Niners and the Cardinals catching 2, who would you take?
I love the 49er side here. That was another one that was on the fringe of being in the top 3 best bets for me. I mean, Cardinals might be out without their 2 starting corners, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't think Arizona is all that great, to be honest. Offensively, I'm not super impressed. I think Kyler's all right. He is starting to run a little bit more, but they just Marvin Harrison struggled last week. They just don't throw the ball a ton. The
reason he struggles is because Kyler can't throw a timing route. It's literally the worst. Like, look at in hindsight, it's like the worst landing spot for him.
Kyler can't throw anything across the middle, man. Like he struggles there. This team almost blew a lead to the Panthers. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I think there's a massive coaching discrepancy between these two teams. I think Mac Jones, like you said, is very serviceable. I mean, we say it all the time, right? It's kind of like with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell, like even Sean McVay, even Matt LaFleur, right? There's the Shanahan tree. It's like you can kind of plug and play some of these quarterbacks, and Mac Jones, I think, is very serviceable. They're a little banged up too, but if Arizona's going to miss out their 2 starting corners, I think they're going to be in some trouble.
Tyler, you getting involved in that game?
What was that game? I was reading something.
Cardinals, Niners.
Yeah, I like the Cardinals there. I think that they can win that outright. It's a weird game with the both. I mean, the way the Cardinals game ended last week, that was a disaster. Kyler even said it after the game. He said the defense looked like a shit show. I don't know how the defense reacts to that, if they're just going to pick up their play, if they're just going to turn on the quarterback. But on the other side, yeah, Mac Jones looked competent, but he was probably playing one of the bottom 3 teams in the league. We can agree on that, right? So I think that
speaking of bottom 3, do you think the Saints can catch the I'm not laying 7 with Darnold. I've been the Darnold truther all year, and I can't lay 7 with him, bro. I don't care who they're playing.
No, can't lay 7 with Darnold. I don't care where they're at. Yeah. But I'm not running to bet the Saints either.
2 more your thoughts there on Saints Seahawks, Jamie?
I would lean the Saints. I'm just a Kellen Moore believer. I think that Saints roster is probably the worst in the NFL, and the fact he's even able to make some of these games kind of competitive, like I think Kellen Moore is a pretty good coach. So I lean with the Saints.
I just don't think Seattle's got the offense to blow a team out, especially a team that's trying as hard. High profile game we should discuss: Chargers against the Broncos. Chargers are laying 3. I mean, is this where the Broncos kind of upset the apple cart here? Everyone's assuming the Chargers. I mean, if you like the Broncos, wait. I think they're going to take. I think the Chargers continue taking money or do you think this is another one of the Herbert ascension storylines, Jamie?
I don't know. This is a pass for me. I have 3, so like I think the line.
I'm not playing it either. I just thought we should talk about it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Denver does. I mean, Denver's got a good defense. Bo Nix did look much better last week, but he's also tied with Baker in turnover worthy throws. So it's a pass for me.
Tyler, do you think that Chargers are going to continue to take money, and do you think the Broncos can keep that close?
I mean, I see 2.5 on FanDuel right now. I'd bet the Chargers right now because I think they win the game. I don't think Denver's as good on offense as we expected. They still really only have one wide receiver. Troy Franklin looked good, but I need more weeks to believe in that. Outside of that, the run game's kind of relying on Dobbins, and that's not the best place to be. Bo Nix doesn't look the same as he did last year either, so I think the Chargers come in and take care of business.
All right, let's check. We're doing much better on time. Any other games you want to talk about? Then we'll check the chat and
that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I mean every other game is. Pretty.
Cowboys Bears is worth talking about for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think. I mean that could be an over game. I think this Bears secondary is really bad. Losing Jalen Johnson, Cowboys are really bad. That could be a sneaky over game.
That could be a defense that makes Caleb look pretty good.
100%.
Right. I mean, maybe we just stack that game on defense. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna check the chat.
No, we already talked about the game to stack on DFS. It's gonna be dirt cheap. We're gonna be able to shove everyone in. Minnesota, Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Robb jumped in the chat with our Trevor Lawrence sucks take. To be fair, I don't think that was on him this week.
I thought he looked better this week.
That looked like Randy Moss on the Raiders, dude. Brian Thomas didn't do shit.
Yeah.
He gave up on so many plays. That's got to be so discouraging. And Trevor's not the type to yell at him. Can you imagine what Brady would have done to him? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sight said that playing for Michigan was a handicap for McCarthy. I don't know if I agree with that, but I could see. Meg thinks the Chargers are real good. Here's the first question. Mike Robb asks, has Spread given his take on Dylan Gabriel getting the call before Shador? I don't even have a take. I mean, it's just terrible. It's just malpractice. Like, this guy must be like hitting on everyone's wives. Like, what is going on? I don't understand how Dylan Gabriel can get there. Al Boogie disagreed with me. He thought that it was a penalty. I just think it happens every play and they never call it. MDS said Jordan Mason misses Trent Williams. It's funny talking about the Madden ratings. I said watching that game, it looked like Bijan's like a 93 and Jordan Mason's like a 78. I mean, just the difference in their ability to get that done. Okay, here's another question. Does Hawkinson have a good game? He's another one that had really bad tape. Really bad tape. He looked pretty washed to me. I would say no. What do you think, Jamie? Does Hawkinson have a good game?
I think he looks pretty washed too, but if there's ever a game, it would be this one. Probably, like Tyler said, going to be probably a shootout. Could be a trailing game script. Carson Wentz is upgrade from JJ. I mean, like I said, he looks pretty washed to me. To me, he looks a little bit like Kelsey. So I'm not going to touch it, but if there was ever a game, it would be this one.
Tim points out Hawkinson, 4 receptions for 27 yards this year. Tyler, does the Hawk turn it around?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Just the change of quarterback, get some fire going under the guys. And JJ just couldn't move the ball through the air. So, I mean, yeah, he looks bad, but let's see what Wentz can do with him. I would want to look back and see what Wentz did with his tight ends when he played in Philly. But outside of that, I mean, one of those guys is going to have a big game.
Wasn't Ertz there when he was there?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
He probably used him pretty well.
One of TJ, Justin Jefferson, or maybe even Naylor does it. Somebody's having a big game on Sunday against the Cincy defense.
Naylor was open a lot. Naylor was open a lot.
He was. They definitely threw. This is the Justin Jefferson game, man. This is the Justin Jefferson. He goes over 100, maybe gets in the box twice, to be honest.
That's what I think.
If you're a young QB or not a young QB, but a backup QB, and you want that starting job,
you just throw the ball at Justin Jefferson.
He's the very best player on your team, right? Because then he's going to be in the coach's office too.
Yeah,
keep Carson out there, right?
Yeah, what did Browning do, right? I mean, just peppered Jamar Chase afterwards. Like, he's just going to pepper Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. He's going to give him chances down the field, which is what we want.
100%.
Mike Robb talking about the Sunday night game here. He says Chiefs don't play barn burner games anymore. It's probably going to be a 2017 game with like 4 to 5 drives only for each team. Lots of runs and drop downs. Hope not, because I think I'm going to be laying it.
23-17, okay.
Yeah, right. Meg just caught up. She said Raiders may win or cover if Mariota plays, but Mariota looked great in Cliff's offense for 1.5 games last season. I guess that's a good point, and the point that Tyler was making earlier, that this would probably be the best situation that he's played in, right? Tennessee, the Raiders,
100%.
and the Falcons. Not too good. Not too good. Meg also says she likes the Chargers in that game with you, Tyler. And the Cowboys Bears should be fun for DFS and props. Yeah, can you imagine if that was in Dallas? Total might be like 54. But boy, I think that's going to be a great referendum on Ben Johnson and Caleb, because if they can't get it done against that defense, wow. I mean, I'll probably just listen to Bears talk radio for 24 hours straight. It's gonna be the ultimate meltdown. So, guys, I like this new format better. We got it all wrapped up, and we don't need to just give all the games that we're not going to bet. Jamie, final words for the people this week. Anything that I missed that you wanted to point out?
No, man, that's it. Thanks for having me on. It's fun to chop it up with you fellas. Hopefully we get some more points, kind of like week 2, right? Let's stay away from those week 1 games where it's 30-point totals here. So I'm optimistic we're going to start getting some better offense going forward too.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right? The defenses usually start ahead of the offenses, and the offense get more time to gel. And now more than ever, these guys are moving in new players, especially on the offensive line. So you're going to expect that the offenses will improve more than the defenses as the year goes on. And then the weather kind of knocks the totals down, not the continuity. Tyler, final thoughts, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah, I think we touched on some winners for the week, and we're going into week 3. So just don't overreact too much, but don't underreact to some of the stuff you see, and just keep an eye on some of these guys playing quarterbacks, because we're already playing quarterback carousel on a couple different teams.
That's right. And remember to keep up with that quarterback carousel. The Fanspeak, I can't even talk. Fanspeak Degen subscription is now live. Only $34.99 for the entire year. Link in the show description.